Hello, I'm Sean and I'm a Craigslist veteran. Have you ever been just casually searching through car ads and you see one that makes you say, wow, what are they on? These are the kind of people that love their car so much, they might not even sell it. This guy's been trying to sell his F-Type for a while now. So we got a 2017 manual F-Type. This is the one you want. It's in this nice dark green. It looks nice. I mean, it looks like a nice car, 42,000 miles. Chipped to 380 horsepower like the S, he says. This is a little weird. Like, he's named his car Daphne. I love her, but I need all-wheel drive.
Reach out if you deem yourself an eligible suitor.
50 grand. And I thought that was high looking at it. I normally don't look at these kind of cars, but I was like, that seems high. And then sure enough, here's Bring a Trailer. Here's a 21, the new body style, sold for $48,500 with 28,000 miles. A supercharged V8. That's definitely, it's not a manual, but it's a better car, I'd say. Here's a comparable one. He's a 1 year older in not as good of a color, but it's a 2016 F-Type 6-speed manual, sold for $28,750 earlier this year. I don't know where you think you're gonna get 50 grand for this. I don't get it. Here's someone who's really proud of his truck. 72 Chevy C20, one of a kind, root beer, new 383 stroker with 50 miles, 425 horsepower, 95% new build, multiple show winner. That's funny. Only picture of the interior is a picture of the interior on a table. Well, no, there's this picture of the interior as well, but I don't know. $55,000. I'm just thinking of what else I can get for $55,000. I wouldn't spend it on this. When I saw this one, I thought, wow, that's a lot of money. But it turns out these old speedsters are actually worth that much money, or at least people pay that much money for them. Looks like it's got some good engine work done to it. It looks like the carbs are nice and new. There's no air filters on it though. So you look at it a little bit closer, it might be that the pictures are bad, but it doesn't look like it's in all that great a shape. These pictures just might not be doing it justice. Can't tell if this is pitting in the chrome or dirt. This is definitely pitting in the Porsche emblem in the front. And it's 240 grand? I looked on Bring a Trailer, and this one got bid to 293 grand and it didn't sell, which I thought was nuts. But this one's in much nicer shape than that other one. And again, it might just be that the pictures are better, but it appears to be in much nicer shape. That is too much money for me. I thought this man was asking 63 grand for his 1989 GMC Sierra, and turns out he accidentally added a zero. RIP. Anyway. I actually feel sort of bad for this guy. He says, was wrecked and only had liability, no collision insurance. So he's stuck with the car now, and he's trying to get as much money out of it as he can. Asking 11.5, firm, no offers. Clean Colorado title. It's not going to be clean after it goes through the work to get fixed. I almost guarantee you that. All airbags deployed. All of them. Still runs and will start. I'm actually shocked because that is very unfortunate. $11,500. You could get a perfectly running 4Runner. This one's $12,500. You pay an extra grand and you get one that's 10 years older, but 157,000 miles. And this one has 120,000 miles on it, so it's kind of a lot of miles for a 17. I doubt that he's getting $11,500 for that car. You may have noticed that I now have a bonsai tree on my desk. After my experiences in my previous videos, I need a little bit more zen, a little bit more peace to be able to deal with some of the things that I see. Here's an 89 Pontiac Trans Am for 16 grand, 43,000 miles. Automatic. So this might be worth close to that, but why wouldn't you move it to an attractive location to take pictures? You take this picture and it's cutting off part of the car. It's not even of the whole thing. And it's in your backyard with random crap all over the yard. This looks like dirt, but it could be oxidation. Didn't even bother to wash the thing. But why wouldn't you like move it to a nice location and take some good pictures of it? You're not gonna get $16,000 for it with these pictures. You're just not doing the car justice with this. This car's been on here for a while. It says 5 days, but I've seen it up here before for a while and it's just not selling, and he hasn't lowered the price as far as I know. So yeah, I don't know. Take better pictures. Sell your car faster. Kind of the same deal with this 48 Chrysler Windsor. 15 grand, and there's one picture and you've again cut off the front of it. I don't know. I don't think this car is worth any more than 9 or 10 to the right buyer. And by that I mean you would have to find the right buyer, and then they might not even pay 9 grand for it. You're missing trim pieces on the side. And then the description on this one just matches the rest of the ad. It's no capital letters, good condition, all original, suicide rear doors, and who knows how the rest of the car is. If you want to sell your car, you have to try. You have to put in the effort. Okay, let's look at some more. At first glance, this one looks like it could be a pretty good deal. So you've got a 94 Ford Bronco, Eddie Bauer. These have risen in popularity a lot because the new Broncos come out and people are fans of the old body style with the square looks. It says the odometer is at 28,000 miles, which is super low for one of these. Most of these are over 200,000 and they're asking 17 grand. And they say it's a beautiful bargain. Then you keep reading. 28,000 miles on the new engine, and the truth comes out. Odometer reads 259,000. Just because your engine is newer does not mean that your odometer goes down to the mileage that's on the engine. The rest of the car still has that many miles on it, which means every other component has the potential to be worn out. Okay, so it does say it has some other new components like strut towers and shocks, recent brakes, replaced steering column and catalytic converter, spare tires flat but patchable. And I'm just now noticing it has mismatched wheels. That's weird. Yeah, nice truck. But the miles, there's just too many miles on that to get $17,000. And to call that a bargain, I can't agree. I'm sorry. Another extremely high mileage vehicle is this 1989 Mercedes 560 SL. And it looks like it's in really good shape. You've got this really shiny red paint. The interior is very clean. The engine bay is actually very clean as well. The wheels look good. This looks like a really good car. The only wear that I'm seeing so far is on this driver's side seat bolster here. But other than that, it's looking to be in good shape. Yet, it has 235,000 miles on it. I'm actually shocked that it's in such nice shape with that many miles. They're asking 12 grand. I think that's too much money. Sure, it might be well maintained and look nice, but it's got a lot of miles on it. It's a final year R107 SL. These are the valuable ones, the 560. If you look at Bring a Trailer at other 560 SLs, they do go for a lot of money. So I can kind of see where he's coming from with this one. This one isn't as crazy as the other ones, but let's see. So this one's an 86 560 SL with 129,000 miles. And it's sold for $11,300. I don't know about you, but I'd much rather have this one. All right, let's look at some more cars. I don't understand why people think that their junk is worth thousands of dollars. Take a look at this 1968 Dodge Coronet and tell me how much you would pay for it. We've got a rusty, bent up body. Bumper's bent up, it's missing some pieces. Who knows if they got them elsewhere, but we're missing a door. That is a roached interior if I've ever seen one. This steering wheel had one of the leather covers on it and it's been torn off. The seat is just in absolute shambles. It now says Coronet on the side instead of Coronet 500 or whatever it said. We're missing parts of the brake assembly, not to mention the wheel. There's paint cracking all down the side. This side it just says O. And there's a massive dent in the quarter here. This is a big corner panel too. It is like the back half of the car is the quarter panel. It's a dog. A Dodge. It's a Doge. Wow. North Dakota plate looks like from 1974. Don't tell me this car's been off the road since 6 years after it was built. Okay, so after looking at those photos, how much is that worth? I think it's junk, honestly, especially if the floors are rusted out, and who knows? It looks like we've got a little rust going on here. There's a fair chance that it's got some pretty bad rust. $4,800. And it's a 318 car, so it's not even like an RT or anything special. The price will increase as it is reassembled. New picks coming soon. Parts to put it together available. Okay, so he does have the parts, but... Oh, and he says available. He doesn't even say it comes with it for $4,800. He just says they're available. It's like, oh no, you gotta pay extra if you want a door. But I just find it funny because you go... This is what he's basing it off of. Like, this is a nice 68 Coronet, but this is an RT with a 440 in it. Granted, it's not numbers matching, but I'd rather have a non-numbers matching 440 than a numbers matching 318. As a side note, I don't get what the big deal is about numbers matching. Like, maybe if it's a concours car and you just, that's the goal of the car is for it to be literally perfect. Yeah, numbers matching, sure. It's the original engine that came in the car from the factory. Whoopee. But if you're gonna drive it, which is what cars are meant for in the first place, it doesn't matter if the engine is original to the car or not. I'll see this one actually does have the leather wrap on the steering wheel that's intact. That's kind of funny. A little bit of a brown underside on this one, and it's sold for 28. So this is what he's thinking, but it would take a lot more than 23 grand to take this car to that level. And just to prove that you can get that car for nearly that price, here's one that sold in October last year for $6,900. And yes, it's a four-door post sedan, but it's a Coronet 500, 318. This is the same car as that other one, except it has 4 doors. You have a blue on blue, black vinyl top. This is a cool car for $6,900. Instead, you got people offering their junk for $4,800. Like, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. Similarly, here's this guy that's owned his car for a very long time and done nothing with it, and it's obviously sat in this spot for many years. First of all, he claims this 1964 Ford Ranchero is very rare. Let's find out what very rare is. Okay, it's less than I thought. There were 17,000 made in 1964, but you still see them for sale a lot, and they're not very expensive, so I don't know what you're talking about. There's a whole concoction of junk in the bed. There's a trailer hooked up to it, or it's not, I don't know if it's hooked up. It looks like this trailer just smashed into the bumper. And this engine, I don't know that I've ever seen that amount of this is a lot of oil to be on the outside of this valve cover. It would take a bit to get that going again. This wheel has dug itself a little hole for itself to live in. No pictures of the interior.
Oh, it has bucket seats versus a bench. That makes it better.
When he bought it, it had a 351 in it, and he put a 289 back in it. That's a shame. Car will need to be towed. Yeah, you didn't have to say that. Body's very straight. Yeah, I guess. I don't know what's going on here. This rust looks like it's in a really weird pattern. I don't know, guys. I wouldn't pay $5,500 for that. I also don't get what the value is on these old trucks. Like this one is, it looks nice at first glance, and then you see there's some rust. Yeah, the interior looks nice. Then he pulls back the floor mat, and you've got a hole in the floorboard and just general crustiness. And then you look at the bottom of the cab underneath the doors here, and there's holes. And they're wanting $10,500 for this. That's a little too much, I think.
Let's look at this one.
I feel like this guy had this Wagoneer for a really long time, and then he heard that Wagoneers were getting really popular and valuable, and he's like, oh, well, I'll just put mine up for sale. Surely it's worth money. So it's an 83 Wagoneer. Looks like it's been parked over here for a while. The trim is just completely falling apart. The paint's very faded. Maybe it would come back with a buff, but it's been parked since 2013. Interior's in okay shape. Really dirty. That's gross. I do not need to sell immediately. It doesn't even run. It says with minimal mechanical work, it would be ready to get on the road. New fuel, probably. Yeah. Definitely. Panels and doors are in good condition, less the weathering. Doesn't the weathering make it not good? Whoa, okay, these are some wild claims here. AMC 360 V8, currently a 2-valve designed for good gas mileage, 20 plus mpg. Converted to a 4-valve, and the engine will really open up with naturally aspirated potential of 500 horsepower. Okay, I doubt that it would have 500 horsepower. This is a choked out early 80s V8. Like, these did not make very much horsepower when they were new. And 20 plus mpg is absolute garbage. I owned a 78 Wagoneer. I regularly got 12 miles to the gallon on a good day, and it had the same engine, this AMC 360. I bought mine running and driving for $680. That was a good deal, I think. And it had a lot of other issues. It had rust and craziness like that. This one's in better shape cosmetically, but it's not running and driving. Like, I drove mine away and they want 10 grand. That's a bit of a difference, especially when you can get this one for 8. This one sold at the end of 2023, so it's a little while ago, but it's a 79 that sold for 8 grand. That's definitely cleaner than the other one. The paint's much nicer. Same drivetrain. Basically the same car. You're not getting 10 grand for that, buddy. Sorry. Next, I'm not sure why Fox bodies are so much money. Someone enlighten me. All that I know is the LX model was lighter than the GT and had the same engine, so it was the faster one. So we've got an LX 50 coupe. People like the notchbacks better. I don't really know why. I feel like, personally, I think the hatchbacks look better. I know that's a very unpopular opinion. It's in okay shape, but you've got some rust to deal with for sure. This is bad. This is not good. If that's deep enough, like, that's gonna be a tough panel to replace. And then this door is shot, it looks like. It's got rust in a lot of places. And this is an automatic. I mean, it looks clean, it probably drives well. But I don't get why you'd spend that much money on that car when you could get this one for a little bit more. I might be a little biased because I had a 98 Cobra in this color. Mine was a hardtop, it wasn't a convertible. This one is very tempting. This one has 98,000 miles on it, which really isn't much for these. These modular V8s go for a long time. And this is a dual overhead cam 4-valve V8. This has over 300 horsepower, and they're asking $10,750 for this one. I would much rather spend a little bit more money and get this. The manual transmission, the drop top, sign me up, please. Like, I want this. Oh, what do we have next? So we've got a 2000 Cadillac Catera. The caddy that zigs, baby. What a colossal piece of crap. I will say the interior looks nice. I've never sat in one of these, but the seats here just look like they have a lot of cushion. Only a few thousand made this year. Yeah, because they only were able to sell that many. He claims this is a mechanic's dream. It's got 36,000 miles on it, which is extremely low. We've got quite a dent on this side here by the fender. The interior looks very nice, and it's $5 grand. Just from the title and the pictures and the odometer and the price, I am thinking it's a good deal except for Mechanic's Dream. So what's wrong with it? So he's starting with the good things. It's rare, low mileage, pristine leather seats, needs work. Head gaskets need replacement. Car does not currently run and needs to be towed. Mechanic's Dream. Everything else was given a clean bill of health. This might not even be worth $5,000 if it was running, because a couple of them just sold on Cars and Bids a little while ago. Here's a 98 with a little bit higher mileage, sold on Cars and Bids for $5,400. All right, down to the last two here. These ones are the most mind-blowing ones I think that we found today. Here's a 1959 Chevy El Camino. I think the 59 Chevy is one of the coolest cars of the 1950s, but this is a hunk of crap. What is going on with this hood? I find this hood hilarious because it says in the description, engine 305, Chevy engine from probably the 80s, makes no power, no transmission. The windshield is cracked to heck, but that is the least of your problems. The interior is even more roached than that 68 Coronet that we saw, and it's just missing the seats. They're just gone. There's random gaskets lying on the ground here. You have like the 1970s barefoot gas pedal, which I think is funny. Tiny steering wheel. I don't get it. I don't get that. What is the point of that? $28,000. And they say it's negotiable, but how negotiable? You better be really negotiable. And then you go to bring a trailer, and this one sold a couple of years ago for a little under 30 grand. And it's just like actually nice. 383 stroker. See, that's a good engine, and it has a transmission. It's 700 R4 4-speed. You will not get $28,000 for that, sir. I am sorry. On to the last and I think most insane offering. We have a 1962 Chevrolet Corvette, or at least pieces of what used to be one. What is this? Isn't even recognizable as a car hardly. The front of the car is non-existent. What happened to it? There's a hole in the fiberglass here. There's a hole in the fiberglass here. What is going on? It looks like it has been in a flood and a hurricane and then some. And it looks like it was a nice car back in the day. I mean, it's white on red. The door's just off. Looks like there's two doors there, actually. The windshield frame is destroyed. The dash is completely shredded. The steering wheel is just... it's missing the wheel part. It's just the spokes. I don't even know how that happens. And what are these pictures? Why do you feel the need to take pictures of your computer screen? This is just sad. Let's read. Car body complete from firewall back. Debatable. No front clip. Windshield frame in need of repair or replacement. Yeah. Instrument cluster, seats, windshield frame, convertible top frame, rear bumpers, and taillights, etc. all on car, not a stripped shell. Okay. It's not a shell, but it's definitely stripped. I will not sell items from it separately. Not the cluster, not the seats, not the bumpers. Please stop asking, not parting out. You might end up having to do that because this is bad. Large tree branch fell on front of car years ago. Well, that's sad. That kind of sucks. I can see why they stripped it for parts, took the engine out. But you're not getting $23,000 for that. I found a couple projects that sold on Bring a Trailer. We got this 61 project for $11,300. I don't know exactly what parts came with it. It looks like it's missing a lot of stuff, and it has a non-running LT1 V8, but the underside looks nice. And this sold for less than half of what the guy's asking for the other one. This one also sold for 11 grand. Comes with a hard top, and it's missing parts of the front clip, but it has more than the other one does. It does look like it's missing some components on the inside. But you could buy both of those projects for the price he's asking for the other one, and they're more complete. These cars restored are worth a lot of money, but I don't think that wreck is worth 23 grand. Anyway, I think that's enough for today. I'm getting a little winded. That's insane. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you don't overspend for a car. I hope you find a good deal. Bye.